It's time for another episode of the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a show made by 12s from around the world, for 12s around the world. I'm Mosette, and here's your host and my dad, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Allen Church of Seahawk Positivity.
Yes, thank you, Mosette, and welcome to episode 710, a special Cards and Rams recap edition of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show as we get ready to look back at the Cardinals and the Rams games. So please put your tray table up and place your seats in the upright position. Settle in with a desired sin or beverage of your choice. And what can I tell you? It's been a good week. All right, let's meet the posse for this episode. First, as always, is our news hound, Will. Hi, Will.
Hey, Moses. How are you?
Good. How you holding up? 24 hours from the scene of the crime.
Well, my voice is almost completely returned. The pounding headache has subsided. Still need some sleep to catch up on, but doing pretty darn good, I gotta say.
What we do for our teams, huh? Man.
Well, it's like I always say, it's been a good game when you feel like hell afterwards.
Yeah. So true, so true. And then, of course, as always, there is Dustin. Hi, Dustin.
Hey, how are you?
Wonderful. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Kind of like Will. I'm worn out from yesterday.
Yeah. You feeling okay, too?
Okay as I'm going to till I get to bed tonight.
I'm the same way. And oh, look, there's Statsman Mark. Hi, Mark.
Hello, everybody.
How are you,
sir? Wake up, Matt. No, I'm doing well. I had for a while I had a different game experience. There's nothing quite like when I was at work, following a game, and all you see, the gridiron, the ESPN Gamecast, and you just see this little football moving back and forth, and all of a sudden it takes a giant leap into Seahawk territory, and I thought the game is going to be won by a field goal, but we all know what happened. So,
we all know what happened.
What an amazing week. 2 wins. I mean,
two,
incredible. I mean, wow.
2 division wins, even more impressive. And, Mark, that was my life for a long time over here in Indiana was, getting on the internet and watching that little football go back and forth because that's all I had. All I had was a little football on the internet. It sounds like a bad song, but anyway, I feel you there, Mark. All right, gentlemen, this is, by the way, our 62nd episode? 162nd episode, believe it or not. And let's see if we can get it right this time, gentlemen. Sweet? Yes, this show is just run like a real NFL football game. 4 quarters and halftime. Quarter 1, will catch us up on the news. Quarter 2, we have a special announcement that you will not want to miss. At halftime, it is the best Seahawk-themed trivia game on the internet. I refer to 12-Man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia.
Of the world.
And I won last week
That was
with
a
Dustin.
false start.
Dustin was so... he didn't believe he won. He won. He's like, okay, it's tied, right? We're like, no, Dustin, you won. He couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
When you win, you couldn't believe it. And then, of course, the second half...
That happens.
Yeah, and the second half, we will be recapping both of the games that happened since last Friday. Of course, the Cards game on Sunday and the Rams game on Thursday. And, guess what? The Seahawks won both of those, so that'll be a lot of fun to talk about. And, of course, we have our Posse Prediction Challenge.
Spoiler alert.
And Posse Prediction Challenge. I think that the Posse will be quite interested in hearing how we're doing on that for sure. Before we start, we'd like to remind you to like, share, and subscribe to the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel. Join us on our Facebook group, 12-Man Fan Jam Show. Special reason coming up in the second quarter. Also, we're on Twitter at Seahawk Positivity. Email is 12manfanjamshow@gmail.com. Look for our downloadable podcast of this very show on iTunes and Podbean. Take us with you. Make us part of your weekend without Seahawk football. And let's get to the first quarter and news. Yes, news from around the NFL by our friend, the Shadowhawk Will. And this week's sponsor, the CenturyLink Field Extra Directional Air Fans. Yes, need a little help in clutch field goal situations? Then why not buy a CenturyLink Field Extra Directional Air Fan? Blair Walsh Directionally Challenged Air Machine sold separately. Well, what you got for us?
Well, Moses, buying concessions at stadiums can be an expensive proposition, but a Dolphin fan, yes, there are still some Dolphin fans out there, learned that to his peril at a recent home game against the Chargers. He was at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami and came across a walking vendor and bought 2 beers. This vendor, however, took his credit card and ran it through a personal reader rather than the one he was issued, and placed a charge of $724 on his account for the 2 beers.
Whoa.
However, unbeknownst to the vendor, 33-year-old Nathaniel Collier, the customer shortly thereafter received an alert regarding the charge, including Collier's name.
Nice.
So he was arrested, charged with grand theft along with the use of a skimming device. So.
Amazing. 724 and Seattle gets you a couple beers, right?
Yeah, I wasn't surprised by the price at all, actually. No, that's a deal.
Yeah.
724, that's a
I
bargain.
mean, I don't know why he even bothered with the alert. It's like, oh, well, okay.
I know.
they're on sale.
Obviously,
Nice.
he was going for like Bud Light. It wasn't a microbrew.
No, the Bud Lights are 600. So
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, man. That's what I always thought. People that get drunk at the games, I almost admire them because if they must be rich. Because if you can get drunk at a game, wow. Hey, buddy, I'm telling you. Oh my
Well,
goodness.
they're not having to pay for flight and hotel and all that, so
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very true. Believe me, that's true.
their flight money goes to beer.
Yeah.
That's known as foreshadowing, by the way, folks.
Nice.
More foreshadowing and more stories from Will. What else you got for Will? What else do you have for us, Will?
Well, Moses, the Vikings, it's hard to argue that they've gotten their money's worth out of Kirk Cousins so far, but given that they've given him a guaranteed contract, they're kind of stuck with him for the duration, and that may have cost them a quarterback who did well in the CFL. Last December, the Vikings worked out CFL quarterback Bo Levi Mitchell, and he team official asked him how he thought he could help the Vikings win. He said, "I've never been anywhere in football and not won a championship as a starter. Everywhere I've been, I've won a championship within the first 3 years. I can help you do that. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to take Kirk's job." And the team official was apparently like, "Oh, no. We don't want you to take Kirk's job. We want you to come in here and help him, make him a better quarterback. But we need a good quarterback room, and we don't want you to cause controversy." And Mitchell's response was, "Well, I'm not signing with the Minnesota Vikings then."
Whoa.
So
Nice.
I've got to wonder, though, the way Cousins' season's going, if they might not give Mitchell another call a few months from now. It's like, yeah, you think you can win the starting job after all, huh?
Hey, kids, there's a lesson here. Never settle for a clipboard. All right? Just don't do it.
That's right.
That's right, Dustin. You know.
I know. Never
Zordy,
settled for. That's why I never made it in the NFL.
Zordy, you ever settle for a clipboard?
A clipboard? Why no, I don't think so.
No.
Oh, I mean, I guess maybe I had one for a job, but I'm trying to. You know what I saw though with the NFL was they're now saying that after this game, after the Redskins pending slaughter by the Patriots, that Jay Gruden will be out of a job.
Oh no!
Yep.
Not
But-
Jay Gruden.
It makes sense for a lot of reasons, but one of them is he doesn't like Dwayne Haskins, and the owner does. So
There you go. Yeah, and you know I can just hear Cousins. You like that? You like that? No, actually, I don't. So I'm not coming to help you.
Well, all of his
I
money's
think that was
guaranteed,
Kona. I
too.
don't think that was Cousins.
Yep.
Oh, was that Kona just now? It wasn't Cousins?
Yeah, I just heard her.
Kona, the 12-man fan
Yeah.
jam show mascot, by the way. How is Kona? We did not ask you.
Oh, she's doing well. She was a little upset when I got home, but because the wife and kids went out of town, they took the other dog with them,
Oh.
and so it came back, and Kona was looking all sad in her kennel. She was very happy when I let her out, though.
Aw. Well, give Kona a hug for all of us, please.
All right.
I don't think taking her to the game would have been a good idea. So.
No, and if she's looking
No.
for a job, there is a backup position with the Vikings, apparently.
She needs to get on that.
Just as long as she doesn't want to push for a starting role.
I would take Kona over Infetti right now.
No!
Oh yeah, they're not trying. Yeah, they're not trying to get around her.
Confetti. Man.
Hey, if Eddie went 2 straight games with no penalties.
Oh, my God. Can you imagine, guys?
Was he injured?
Nope.
Oh, he was on the
Two straight
field.
games for Effetti without a penalty. Who had the over-under at 3? I had
the
two.
over-under at 1 quarter.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But and I have noticed. I'll say when they scored. I think this last game when they scored Thursday night at one point, I noticed that Russell went over and gave him an extra hug on the head, and like you would do your son when he did something good. He's kind of had a boy, way to go, Gave him a Scooby snack and moved on. All right, Will, thank you so much for the news.
Anytime, Moses.
We will take our Scooby snack and we will take a quick break, and this is the end of the first quarter.
It's the end of the first quarter, bitches.
All right, coming up on this double recap edition of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia, recap of the 2 Seahawk victories this past week. But coming up next, we have a special announcement. Whatever could it be? We'll be right back to find out.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
That's the fact, Jack!
Holy shit, it's the second quarter.
Welcome back to quarter 2, a special double recap edition of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show. We're going to take the second half of the show. We're going to recap the Cardinals' victory on Sunday and then the Thursday night thrilling victory against the Rams. But before we do, we have some other things we want to talk about. I have a couple announcements this quarter 2. I have a special announcement and I have another house cleaning announcement, especially regarding our Posse Prediction Challenge. When we left the Posse Prediction Challenge, Team 12 had a 15-10 lead over Team Posse. And when I went ahead and put the show together, it occurred to me that I had left out 3 points for, well, me. Because the Saints had beat us 27-33, and I said that we were going to win 27-16, but the Seahawks had 27 points, which is what I said we'd have, even though I said we'd have it in a win. So, going into the second half, our score is actually 15-13. So, we have 3 more points than, so that we're even closer, guys. We're even closer.
I wish you'd gotten the whole score right for that Saints game.
I know. I wish someone would do that. But we do have a special announcement, and it has to do with a couple of weeks. A couple of weeks from now, the Seahawks are going to be playing the Baltimore Ravens in Seattle. That is the weekend of October 20th. The 19th is that Saturday. Turns out I will be traveling up to the lovely Pacific Northwest to enjoy this game in person. Also, Matt from Merry Old England is also going to be heading up to Seattle for this game. And Statsman Mark, you are going to be heading up for this game, correct?
Yeah.
So, and of course, Dustin and Will are already there. So, this...
It's an easy travel for us.
Yeah, so
it is.
This really, and this is amazing to me, and this is a huge deal to me anyway. This is going to be the first time ever. We've done 162 shows. We've done 7 years of this show. Never once, outside of the show, before the show, in the off season, at any time during the recording of the show, have the 5 of us ever been in the same place at the same time. Ever.
We're setting up a GoFundMe for bail money. If you could just contribute to...
So it's kind of a big deal because we've never all 5. We've come close. We did a live show a couple years ago with the Falcons. It was the first live show we ever did, and Matt was on the phone, and everyone was there but Matt, and that was really close. And
then Matt showed up a couple weeks later for the Buffalo Bills game that year.
Yeah, exactly. They missed us by 2 weeks. So the 5 of us, and people say, well, you guys do, we've had offers. I had an offer from a place that, hey, you guys want to do this show from downtown Seattle? I'm like, well, okay, one's in Indiana, one's in England, one's in California, and 2 of us are in Washington.
Yeah, so odds are no.
Yeah, unfortunately. So this will be the first time ever. So obviously we're going to celebrate that on that Saturday, and we're going to have a special live 12-man Fan Jam show, which will be episode 712, live from Seattle. And on that show, we will transmit it live on our Facebook page. So if you're not a member of our Facebook page, 12-Man Fan Jam Show, you're going to want to join our Facebook page before that, because we're going to have all kinds of cool surprises and treats all weekend long, I'm sure. The cameras will be rolling with the 5 of us. We won't be stuck with each other all weekend, but I'm sure we'll have a lot of video to film. And we'll have definitely a live Saturday show on October 19th. We'll have trivia. We'll have our predictions. Who knows what else we'll have? We're working out the details as this story develops. Where we're going to be, we're not sure. We'll let you know if you're in the area. We'd love to see you as well. We're not sure exactly where we're going to be doing the show yet. Last time we went up, we thought, we'll go do it over the Needle, and it didn't work very well, so we'll find a place. But we're still looking for that right now. It will be a live, broadcasted live, probably around, I'm guessing, noon at this point, but we'll give you more details as we get closer to that show, which is only a couple weeks away. Mm-hmm. I might also, I'm sure I'll have my phone out for a lot of other, Facebook Live videos with one of us or all of us or some of us. My weekend, I plan on doing a lot of videoing. That sounded bad. That weekend, I feel like a lot of live Facebooking. So, for everybody. And so, who knows who you'll find on Facebook Live on the 12-Man Fan Jam Show Facebook page. So please, you're going to want to look in often that weekend on the Facebook 12-Man Fan Jam Show page as the details come together. We'll share details there and here. And I also thought, hey, if you have any ideas or requests for us while we're all together for the first time ever, then please share. Feel free to either email us any questions or suggestions at 12manfanjamshow@gmail.com. PM us on Twitter at Seahawk Positivity. Post on our Facebook wall, hey, guys, I got an idea, or I have a question, or I have a suggestion. Maybe we'll put it on the show and make it part of that live show. I don't know. Last time the live show we did really quickly. I don't know. It depends on where we're at and how long we have. We might go a little bit longer this time. The video quality is a little bit better. Maybe we'll do a little bit better. I don't know. So be looking for that episode 712 live 12-Man Fan Jam Show on the Facebook page. And what we do is a couple days later, after that, later that week, we'll put it on the YouTube channel. But probably will not be on the iTunes and Podbean for that week. But we will have the Facebook Live. So we look forward to that. If you're going to be in the neighborhood, stay in touch. Hey, I'll let you know on the Facebook page where we're going to be and what we're doing. So we'd love to see some of you hang out. Talk some Seahawk football, go see them beat the tar out of the Ravens on Sunday, and everybody fly home happy. How's that sound, everybody? Pretty good?
Yeah.
Works for me.
Works for me. All right. Mm-hmm. So that's our special announcement, 712, live from Seattle. Get ready for that. But right now, we still have episode 710, and we still got some things to talk about here in the second half. But before we do, let's go ahead and run into halftime.
Holy shit, it's halftime!
Oh, so much more show ahead of us. Are the Cardinals really that bad? Are the Seahawks really that good? Is Russell Wilson really human? All these answers and so much more just around the corner. But first, another fine edition of 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. And that's coming up next!
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
Yes, it's halftime, and welcome to another fun-filled edition of the best play-along Seahawk-themed trivia game show on the internet. It's time for 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. And here's your host, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity. Yes, thank you, me, and welcome to another fine edition of 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia
of the world.
Trivia game that tests the knowledge of both our posse and our listeners. Our contestants are the posse themselves, Dustin, Will, and Statsman Mark, and here are the rules. So here's how the trivia game works. There'll be 2 rounds of questions. Each contestant answers 1 question each round. If they get it correct, they get 1 point. After 2 rounds of questions, there'll be a final trivia question worth 2 points. If there's a tie after that, then the tie players go on to a special secret overtime question where the winner becomes reigning 12-Man Fan Jam Show Trivia Champion and also gets a prize chosen especially for them. As an added bonus to those listening on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel, the questions and possible answers will be displayed on your screen so you, the viewer and listener, can play along as well. If you do, please let us know how you did on the questions. Remember, there's no Googling, no phone a friend, and please, no wagering. However, there is a lifeline. Before taping this show, my 2 charming Seahawk fan children, Mosette and Little Mo, did take the quiz as well. If the contestants want to know what the kids said, they can ask that but once and only once during the entire game show and only in the first 2 rounds. Now let's get ready to play 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. All right, y'all know the rules. Question per round. You get a point each. You can ask the kids once for the 2 rounds. The topics are the first half of the season. That's pretty much it. One question every round is kind of different. So we'll see how we do there. And we'll start with our champion, which is Dustin. Dustin, 1, 2, or 3?
3, please.
Dustin takes 3. Statsman Mark, 1 or 2?
Ooh, number 1.
Mark is number 1. Will is
Mark's number
2.
1. Mark's number 1.
Everything's a chant. I love Will and I. For the first times I met Will. Well, wasn't the first time. It was one of the first games I went with Will, and we were at King Street, and everyone was chanting stuff, and Will started going, "Everything's a chant. Everything's a chant."
Good times.
I do it all the time now, man. All right, Mark, here you go. Football question for you.
Oh, I lucked out.
We'll
see.
This is about this season. So, in week 1, this season against the Bengals, how many turnovers did the Bengals and the Seahawks combine for? So, what I want to know is how many turnovers did the Bengals and the Seahawks have together? You add them together
in the
2,
first
3, or 4.
Oh wow, it's okay. At first, I thought
it
was like an
Dustin,
open-ended thing.
Yeah.
Dustin, it's math. He has to add them together.
I don't. No.
Let's see. Oh my goodness, this is horrible. I really am going to be 50 here because my memory is just shot already.
This Tuesday, by the way. Yeah, you ain't getting out of that, man. This Tuesday, the big 5-0 for Statsman Mark.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I got to check the latest. I'm not sure what the latest. Yeah, I'm not sure what the latest over/under is on my life. I got to check the odds. Holy cow! I have. You know what? I have no freak. Oh, actually, I'm going to ask the kids because the kids are young and their minds are not pickled like mine.
Is that the reason, really?
Well, I'm fighting 1 trillion beers in my past. And
yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
Well, Little Mo said 4, and Mosette said 3.
Ooh, they disagreed.
Yeah, well, they're brother and sister. They hardly agree on anything.
But your son said 4?
Yeah, and Mosette said 3.
I'm going to go 4.
Oh. You think Little Mo knows something, huh?
You know, if it's 3, Mosette will never let you hear the end of this.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. You're right. Little Mo got it 4.
Wow, you know what that bell struck so suddenly. I didn't have a chance to react. Wow, I was expecting that buzzer.
I should have paused more, huh?
Well, I have post-traumatic from that buzzer just constantly just ringing.
Well, Mark, he could have done to you like he did to me. Give me the bell and then say, "Oh, no, wait, you're wrong."
Wave the flag. Well, I'll try to do it this time, Will. Will, you remember when the Seahawks played the Bengals in the 1988 playoffs?
I do.
Okay, well, here's my question to you. How many times did both teams sack the other team's quarterback? So we're not combining here, but they both have the same, right? The same amount of sacks.
So for an example, maybe the Bengals sacked us twice and we sacked them twice, that kind of thing?
Is it 1, 2, or 3? Yeah, that's exactly what I want.
Well, I pulled 2 out of thin air, so I'm going to go with 2.
All right. Pulls 2 out of thin air, so he's going to go. Did you say you're going with 2, right?
That is correct.
Yeah, it is. Congratulations.
Wow.
Okay, now that is spooky.
The spirit of Matt is with us. All these pleasant sounds instead of buzzers.
Yeah, Dustin, no pressure. Here we go.
Okay.
Dustin.
Yeah.
What country considers the Royal Bengal tiger its national animal?
How about India? It's a continent, but
India, Pakistan, or Taiwan?
India.
You know, I'd like to take this time just to let you all know that no one listens to these questions or looks at these questions. And I'd just like to hear them working a little bit. Mosette and Little Mo both said India. Dustin, you said India. Is that your final answer?
Final answer.
Yeah. All right, you got that one, yeah. Good call.
Thanks.
Not a lot of suspense there, I got to say.
Yeah. I watched a lot of Animal Planet in my day.
Did you watch
Big fan of Siegfried and Roy, too.
Did you watch Animals Do It? Is that what you were doing?
Like they do on the Discovery Channel, yeah.
Little Eminem, nice. Watches Animal Planet, all right.
Speaking of animals, what's interesting, Dennis, is both native of Arizona and LA is the cougar. So, I thought that was,
And Florida.
He said the cougar. All right. Round 2. We all got them right, so I guess we'll go in the same order. Dustin, 4, 5, or 6?
6, please.
Dustin will take 6. Mark, 4 or 5.
We're going to go identical order because this is too much fun, so I'll do 4.
Okay.
Hey, if it ain't
It
broke,
makes my
right?
life just a little bit easier. So I don't have to not that I've ever given anybody the wrong question. All right, Mark.
Sure.
Wound up being costly too, didn't it? We won't go there. Okay. Hey, Mark. In week 3 of the season against the Saints, how many combined turnovers did the Saints and the Seahawks have all together? Was it 2, 3, or 4?
Can you repeat it? I just said something cut out. It cut out a little bit.
Okay. How many combined turnovers did the Saints and Seahawks have in week 3 of the season? 2, 3, or 4? More math for you. You got to add them together.
Yeah. It's just, oh my goodness. Let's see. Now, for the sake of keeping the show moving, I'm going to say 4. Again, my memory is gone. I'm going to say 4.
The show is moving. You know what? No one has missed a question yet.
I did, however, misspeak since India is not a continent. I don't know why I said that.
I don't know why you said it either, but I said what country.
It has been referred to as a subcontinent before.
But it is a country.
Yeah.
So those of you joining India, a country. Mark is wrong. It's 2 for Mark. I'm sorry. But Mark, India is a country. So
yeah, Mark.
That I remember.
Now you know. And knowing is half the battle.
You get that going for you.
It's just amazing. I can't remember games that had just happened like 2 weeks ago.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you know. Okay, well, we're going to week 2 in Pittsburgh.
Pressure's off me. We've already got one wrong answer.
That's
so
true.
It's all good.
That's true. How many total passes did the Seahawks and Steelers combine to throw in that game? 69, 71, or 73?
Well, in the spirit of the forthcoming sequel to Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, I am going to go 69!
69, dude! Little Mo said 69 and giggled.
Of course he did. He's a guy.
Yeah, of course he would. A little pervert. And yeah, you got it right. There you go.
Woo-hoo!
All right.
Is that movie really happening?
Oh, yeah, they're done filming already.
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that great? Dustin.
Yeah.
All right. In week 4 against the Cardinals, how many quarterback sacks did both teams have? 3, 4, or 5?
4. I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't know. Just first thing popped in your head.
Yeah.
You got it.
Nice.
Wow.
Look at you guys. 5 out of 6.
India.
India. And it is
a country, not a
got
continent.
Dustin at 2
Yeah.
for 2. Will 2 for 2. And Mark, you're 1 for 2.
That's not bad. It's
That's
like,
not bad.
pitcher in baseball. If I'm hitting 1 for 2
But
as a
don't worry,
pitcher,
Mark,
it's pretty...
because you know why? It's time for final question. Final question. Highest, high-low number. The head. Yeah. Okay. The final question.
Easy for you to say.
Is the number. Whoever's closest without getting over it gets it. And if you're all over, the closest to the number gets 2 points. And it's reigning 12-man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia champion until next Friday. So, the order we will go will be Mark will be first, Dustin will be second, and Will be third. Here's your question. Gentlemen, Mark, how many total offensive yards have the Seahawks had so far this season? Total offensive yards all together.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to say... let's see.
5 games.
Yep. Oh, that's right. 5. Why am I thinking?
Who's the
Thank
Rams
you.
game?
Right. Okay, just one moment here. I'm going to go...
Carry the 2. Hey,
I know. It
Dustin,
really
it's
is.
gonna
It
be
really...
math.
Wow.
No,
Did you guys
no,
hear
it's
the
not.
hot rod and behind me, too? Golly, I tell you, this neighborhood is just getting worse. Okay, let's see.
Damn
We're going to
kids.
go...
Get off of Mark Shalon.
Okay, so 5 games. I'm going to go... 1375.
1375. Dustin, care to do a little math? How many total offensive yards the Seahawks had so far this season?
What did you say, 1375?
He did.
I'll say it's got to be closer to 2000. I would think. I'll say 1950.
1950 was a good year. Will, how many total offensive yards the Seahawks had so far this season? 1375, 1950.
I'm going to go with 2005.
2005, another good. Oh,
Yeah, that was a good year.
That's a good year. All right.
Like a Super Bowl year.
Yeah, that year was super. All
It's
right.
super. Thanks for asking.
It's Big Gal.
All right. The number of yards through 5 games that the Seahawks have combined offensively, total offensive yards, 1,940.
What?
Ooh.
Missed it by 10. But Mark
Wow.
wins because Dustin was off by 10 yards.
Oh my goodness.
I'm like a Jared Goff pass.
Well,
Oh,
welcome to the club, Dustin.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just over.
Mark, Statsman Mark, you are the halftime trivia champion for this show. Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you, and I feel like Zerline missed all over again. I'm equally shocked that I won this thing. I can't believe it.
You don't know until it happens, right? I mean, anything can go at that last play.
You know what? I already have another trivia question for next show. Is like, when's the last time Statsman Mark won twice trivia in one season? Oh man,
I'm going to go with never, Bob.
that would probably be an option there.
But you are truly on a roll, my friend. Congratulations.
Yeah, for me, this is I mean, I feel like the Browns, 2 wins. It's just
Awesome.
unbelievable.
Speaking of wins, we got a couple wins to talk about, don't we?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so listen, this has been another crowd-pleasing, heart-stopping, award-winning edition of your 12-man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia
Of the world.
of the world. We'll be right back with the second half of this show. We're going to talk about the Seahawks beating the Cardinals and the Seahawks beating the Rams. Right after this, Joe Walsh, take us out.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Holy shit, it's the third quarter.
Hey, it's the third quarter of your 12-man Fan Jam Show. Congratulations again to halftime trivia champion, Statsman Mark. Mark, well done.
Oh, well, thank you. I got a Harley outside my window, so I just I don't know what's going on.
Is that a metaphor?
That's what it
Yeah, something's going on in the
That's a
neighborhood today. Sorry for the background.
Dustin, 10 yards off, my man.
Yep. Life happens. I don't know what to tell you.
You thought it was going to curve in, and it just kept going straight, right? That's it
It
just happens.
was to the right a little bit.
Just right a little bit. I know we're really excited about quarter 4, but we do have quarter 3, and in quarter 3, before Thursday night's game, which we're all still buzzing about, the Seahawks did play a game on Sunday, and they had to go down to Arizona, and they always played it pretty well down in Arizona. In fact, the only loss was Russell Wilson was his very first game, and you could argue that last drive, it wasn't the fact that poor Doug got his tooth broke, his teeth broke, I guess, plural. He would have caught that ball in the end zone and probably would have been undefeated. But they went down in their Wolf Grays, which they always play very well in, and won 27-10. Pretty convincing win, wasn't it, Will?
That was very convincing. And if I had to give the game a theme, I would say it was how Carson got his groove back.
Oh, yes.
Because this was the Cardinal game was the game that he needed after all the fumbles, all the struggles the first 3 weeks, just to be able to go out, hang on to the ball, grind it out, get 100 yards. He didn't get it into the end zone at the end of the game, but he did everything and reestablished himself as that consistent force on the ground that the Seahawks have needed him to be.
Yes.
So that was definitely huge. And one other quick thing, I'd like to do a quick shout out to Rasheem Green.
Yes.
There was a play, and I think in the second or third quarter, something like that, where Kyler Murray runs out to his left, and it's just him and Green out there. There's nobody within about 20 yards or so it seems like. And Murray tries to fake Green out of his jock, and Green just stayed there, played it smart, and got the sack. And That's the kind of play we've been waiting for Green to make for a while, and I'm hoping that's a sign of things to come for him, because I saw that. I had to tip the cap to him when that happened, because there are veterans out there that would have lost their jock straps on that play.
Absolutely. And they reported today he got more and more snaps, even more snaps against the Rams. He's becoming more and more visible as far as being in the backfield, making plays. I was high. You guys know I was pretty high on him coming out of college, and I think he's really doing a great job. I mean, he just seems to be getting better and better, doesn't he?
Yeah, he did that. Perfect as far as technique goes for that pursuit drill is basically what it was, like they do in practice. Yeah. Got his hips turned right, did everything perfect, and finished it.
He did. Zorn, we used to use the phrase slow methodical beatdown.
Is that
what this was?
Well, it's just nice that you put a team that's coming together and is a ways away, and we just took care of business. I mean, it was just nice to just nice to see. I will say, for the Cardinals, I like Kyler Murray. I like the way he's handled himself. It's a rough deal there, but I think he looks relatively comfortable for a rookie throwing it around. He doesn't really have any fear. So I think his future, we'll see what happens there. Their coach, again, I've commented, he just looks like the guy that you run into on the ski lift or a ski instructor, or he just doesn't come across as an NFL coach to me at all.
No, he doesn't.
But I like the quarterback, and God bless Larry Fitzgerald, man, still playing, man.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable.
Always respect there. Will, what are your thoughts on Kyler? I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to my next question. Will, what are your thoughts on Kyler? Really, what you saw at him?
It's kind of similar to Mark. I mean, the guy is doing all the right things, and you can see the potential there. I've got a sinking feeling he's going to be a pain in our ass for years to come when we play the Cardinals. But you know what? It's a good kid, good head on his shoulders, and I think he's going to get it done sooner or later.
Me too, Dustin.
I liked his escapability quite a bit. That was impressive. I really liked his pass to Clowney. That was enjoyable.
That was nice.
Yeah, that was probably the highlight of the game for me. And I did like the fact that they got out to a fast start, because they've been trying to do that, and it hasn't really happened. But 10 points in the first quarter was nice.
Yes, it was. I like Kyler. I'm interested to see where he goes from here, though, because it seems to me like he is the kind of quarterback that a team that has very little talent needs. He's going to win some games for them that they shouldn't even be in. But I'm going to be curious to see as they build a team around him and they get better, and maybe he doesn't have to run around all the time. And I know people say this about Russell, but listen, Russell was established pocket passer in college. I'm just interested to see if Kyler has to stay in the pocket with a good offensive line and doesn't have to make plays with his feet. I'm just curious to see how it ends. I'm not saying he will or won't. I'm just curious to see what this guy can do. And if I'm a Cardinal fan, I'm excited. I'm
pretty sure where he's going from here is Cincinnati, though. They play the Bengals on Sunday.
Oh, okay, yeah, right. Okay,
Dustin the literalist.
Mystery solved.
So he's going to Cincinnati, so that problem is solved. Don't have to worry about that.
Poor kid.
Yeah, but I'm interested. If I'm a Cardinal fan, I'm digging it. This kid is going to make our team better because we don't have a whole lot around him right now. So he's going to keep them or get them in games that maybe otherwise they would probably be blown out. So
yeah, I imagine as a Cardinals fan, you're probably excited, if not only for what he's doing, but because of how he's doing it. Because you've been having to watch Russell Wilson for the last 8 years, dealing with that, and he's got a little Russell to him for sure.
He does,
so
sure,
they have to be excited about that.
Yeah, and he's a great kid. I hope the best for him. I really do, but not too much best. All right. Well, let's. I know we want to get to the Rams game. We want to get to the fourth quarter, so let's go ahead and let's check our posse prediction challenge. We have really got to talk about this. Okay. The scores last week. The score was 27-10. Dustin hit it on the nose. 27-10. That means he gets
all the points.
All the points. He gets 5 points. Matt even had the Seahawks with 27 points, so he gets 3 points. Prognostications. Little Mo and Will said Carson would run for 100 yards, and he did. So you each get a point. Dustin and Mark teasing said no Carson fumble, and because Carson had a habit of fumbling, I went with it.
Yep,
so I gave that one to you. And then I got a point because Disley caught a touchdown. All right.
Game ball, I gave a point to me and Mark and Mike for Disley. Had a good, solid game. And then a point to Dustin, Will, Matt, and Little Mo for Carson. The over and under was under for that game. It was 37 total points. I think it was like 44 and a half. A point to Little Mo, to Mike, to Mac, to Will, and Dustin. Here's how week 4 shook out. Dustin with 8 points.
Wow.
I think that's the most anyone's had ever. Matt with 5.
Sweet.
Will with 3. Then Little Mo with 3. Statsman Mark and myself with 2. And Mike with 2. Everybody on our side scored. 2 of us scored a lot. And only 2 on theirs scored. So overall scores after 4 weeks. Dustin has the lead with 10. Matt has 8. Mike Pascal at 6. Statsman Mark at 6. Lomo and I are tied at 5. Tom and Will are tied at 4. Jose and Mark, Ty Turner, are tied at 3. Gentlemen, if you're ready for this announcement, finally, the long last nightmare is over. And as we enter Game 5, the score is Team 12, 21. Team Posse, 33.
What?
Wow.
Nice.
What?
It's like last Sunday watching that Dolphins-Chargers game when the Dolphins got their first lead of the season.
We didn't just win. We knocked the door down. 12 points.
Hell yeah.
Okay, but there's still a long season to go.
No, that's it. It's done.
Says the guy on top. All right. Dustin is the guy on top. Great.
I was going to say we don't want to Schottenheimer and just run the rest of the season.
No.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, we could, as long as we don't, run a play where we toss it backwards to lock it on 4th and 1. Okay, let's go to the 4th quarter.
It's the end of the 3rd quarter, bitches.
Oh my gosh, we have one more game to talk about. I can't imagine what that game is. Oh yeah, Thursday night game, the thriller. As I predicted it was going to be a thriller, and it sure was. Rams and Seahawks, Thursday Night Football, the 4-0 in the neon green uniforms, and we'll talk about that game coming up right after this.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
Are we having fun yet?
Holy shit, it's the 4th quarter.
All right, it is the 4th and final quarter of this special double recap episode of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show. Let's talk about that Thursday night football game between the Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams. Wow, what a game. A lot of people lost a lot of sleep on the East Coast and in England and all over the world. And even on the West Coast. Will, you mentioned 3 in the morning. You still couldn't sleep, even over there.
Well, I was down. I was not in my regular seats for this game. I was sitting down with Neil and Mr. and Mrs. Seahawk and everybody in the south end zone.
Yeah.
So it was like being in the mosh pit for this game.
It is.
I mean, we are all just going absolutely berserk. When the Rams scored their second touchdown in the 3rd quarter, I turned to Neil and pointed at 1/4 of that end zone and said, "We're going to score the winning touchdown right there." So I called the shot, and I actually got that one right.
Nice.
So cool.
That's a point for prognostications.
Yeah. Yeah, can I get a do-over on my prognostication since my player on the official one didn't even play? Okay.
That would have been awesome. Well, if you yelled out your Bill O'Reilly, "We're doing it live," and you pointed it over.
Forget it.
Yeah, that would have been, but yeah, that game was just insane and intense, and I thought we had it won after that unbelievable pick by Tedrick Thompson. That's a guy who really needed an unbelievable pick, so kudos to him. Then I thought we had lost it after that 3rd and 2 play, and we let him march straight down the field, and then he washed it. So it's just crazy.
Yeah, we'll talk about that kick, I'm sure, for a while here. During this quarter for sure. 30-29, of course, Seahawks won. It was quite a roller coaster, Dustin.
It was, yeah, and thankfully I was tall enough for the ride, so that was nice.
Yeah, all right.
Nice.
Yeah, I was there for the game, and it was a lot of fun.
It sounded incredibly loud.
Typically, I watch the games afterwards. Was that?
It was incredibly loud. You guys were in playoff form. I gotta tell you guys were loud as hell. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, my ears were ringing, man. It was very
fantastic.
loud.
It was fantastic. It was glorious. I loved it.
Yeah. The unfortunately, Fox and Dish are having issues, so I came home to watch it today after work, and it didn't record because of that. So, yeah. There's a certain amount of things you miss when you're in the stadium.
Hey.
I was wanting to see Tyler Lockett's play again and different angles and stuff like that.
Do you have NFL Network? Because they were re-showing it.
I'll have to take a look.
Check NFL Network. They replayed it today.
Yeah, it's an instant classic. They
might replay it a couple times. So check your NFL Network, folks. If you don't have Fox and Dish or whatever, it may be on there. And of course, it's I don't think that's the edited version. I think they do like the whole game.
Yeah, I'll definitely keep my eye out for that. Game,
yeah. So keep your eye out on the NFL Network because I came home and found it and I'm like, oh, well, I'll just watch this a little bit.
No, this is nice.
Yeah, look. Oh, I know how this ends. Let's watch it.
Yeah.
And that's the best part. And the best part really of this whole thing is the 2 wins. So I don't know, you guys, I feel like I'm like on, some king from the Middle Ages on Sunday, sitting there with my crown. Bring me the Ravens, they amuse me.
Yeah.
No, the Browns, they suck. Get them off my TV. Go away, Browns, go away. You bother me.
Nice.
I mean, it's just kind of like you're in charge of everything, like you're the king. We've already won. We've done this. Now the rest of you just grovel in front of us. Yes. So Sunday's going to be fun. Zorny, I know you hadn't understood.
But yeah, overall though, man.
Oh, for the Rams, I know I was working, and so I was able to catch some on the computer there, and going into the game, I don't know, I didn't have the usual pregame nerves for some reason. It's Thursday night. I know last night's game, and they've had a couple of good ones so far. I'm still not a big fan of Thursday night football as a concept, but for a short week. I'm not those uniforms. And actually, that reminds me. After the game, seeing RW with his the Rush hat or whatever, but I saw the embroidery, the 1976. I know for whatever reason the NFL needs a 2-year advance notice or something stupid on throwback uniforms. Or maybe Dustin will. I don't know if you've heard or Dennis,
the uniform policy like that. It's kind of weird, but a big part of the problem.
Lame. I don't know why. You should be able to request it within. Anyway, I don't get it.
Well, a big part of the problem is the helmet. The helmet's a big part of the issue.
Yeah, you can't wear a different helmet for a throwback game.
Oh, okay. Well, even if that's too bad because I'd love to see us in our original 1976 unis. Would look so awesome.
Wait a minute, the Bears wore throwback helmets this week.
No, they wore their same helmets. On the helmets. They peeled the old decals off and put new ones on.
Oh.
That's why when you see the Broncos wearing their throwback unis, why they've got the navy blue helmet instead of the bright blue that they wore back in the 80s.
Interesting. Okay. Well,
they just changed
still,
the decals.
the original uni would still look cool. Those old silver pants with the 3 stripes down the side. Anyway, where was they going with the game? Oh, so anyway, the game was just. It was crazy. I mean, I don't know. And then again, I just shocked. I mean, I'm still shocked that Zerline missed that kick because I'll say it again. We were talking about before the show. I read an article. Zerline for his career. I don't know how many attempts we're talking about. He is 97.4%. It's like a radio station almost, right? 97.4 from 45 and in. Success rate. So he had a 2.6 chance of missing, and he missed. I'm shocked over that win. That is such a huge win. It makes up for the Saint loss to me because, going into this game, I didn't really expect the win. I mean, I was hoping, but I didn't chalk this one up as definitive as I would other games.
Yeah. 97.4. We play all the strange music.
There you go. Nice. Great segue.
Yeah, thank you. Well, we talked about the kick before the show, and I'll go ahead and talk about it. Myers missed one, and it was not a bad miss in my opinion. And Zerline's miss was not a bad miss. What bad miss for me is when it's 15 feet to the right or left, and it just looks awful from the start. But here's the thing to me that I told Little Mo is they were driving down for what apparently looked like they were going to win the game. And I said, well, you know, one thing. I said, the way kicks have been going tonight, they look like knuckleballs. They would go up in the air, and if you watch them, they go to the right and the left, and they move around. And I see it's kind of been a wacky night for kicking the football in between the uprights. And I said, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm saying it's been kind of a weird night. And I wonder if Zerline, and I don't know, but I wonder if Zerline thought there was going to be more air to push his ball to the left than there was. I don't know. But it was just kind of a weird kicking night if you watched them. If you watch the kicks, they kind of move like knuckleballs.
Well, funny story, Moses, because you know how during halftime the kickers always come out first and warm up a bit and try not to hit the band members or whatever they're doing on the field. Well, when Zerline was kicking, they were actually both doing their kicks into the south end where we were sitting. But when Zerline was kicking, his kicks were edging over to the left, and he even doinked one once off the left upright. So I wonder if that was in his head, and he's like, okay, I got to make sure I don't hook it left, and then he pushed it too far right instead.
Yeah, it's quite possible.
I mean, that kick was straight, though. I mean, it didn't move at all. It just was like straight up. And it just sat there right where it was, and it just didn't go right or left, and you know,
took a coat of paint off the upright when it went by. I mean,
right.
If they hadn't gotten that delay of game penalty, that would have been good.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I mean and I can't remember, guys. You're gonna have to help me, and I can't think offhand, and you might not be able to either. When we've benefited from a game missing field goal at the end of a game, does anybody remember the last time that happened?
Well, the name Blair Walsh comes to mind.
Yeah, there was a time in Minnesota.
Right. The playoff game, right. Okay. So, the playoff game, but I can't, I mean, to me...
Oh, were you being serious?
Well, yeah, I mean, what other game that we had where
regular season?
Yeah, I can't think of one. Well, I think about that.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, it just seems like we're either losing when the field goal goes in, or we're missing the field goal, or whatever. So it was just kind of weird. Except for Blair Walsh, yes.
It was set up for the north end zone though, and there's so many weird, crazy things that happen that usually benefit the Seahawks in that end zone. So like the Fel Mary, the Tony Romo fumble.
Jay Seeley, the Hawks Giants game in 2005, where he missed 3 field goals, all of them in that direction. So.
That gets me every time. Is the north end zone? Is that the Hawks' nest?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that is a trip that they all. What would be awesome is if a field reporter says, Jimmy Hoffa is right here. Like, how did he end up at the Seahawks Stadium? He's buried there before it was built. What a trip! Yeah, I mean,
what a game!
Wow.
I mean, and how exciting to win a game like that. I mean, I know they know as well as we do. People are going to say, "Oh, they were lucky." They weren't lucky. They did what they had to do to win the game. We talk about that all the time on here. Some teams you have to capitalize on those. You have to execute. He had to execute, and he didn't execute, and it's going to happen. I mean, I wouldn't feel awful if I was a Rams fan after this game because hey, all we did was hold court. The home team in the division game won, but. It was a back and forth battle. I'm more concerned. What kind of concerns? I mean, offensively, maybe the best game we've had all year. Could run the ball, we could throw the ball, but defensively, guys, is this a concern? What we saw?
I think, stylistically, yeah. Just the choices they were making. We're talking about that at work today, and they could have easily stopped a lot of those throws at the end of the game. Instead of trying to go after the quarterback, if they would have, because they kept going, kind of running the same routes and going underneath right there to Cup or whoever on the sidelines. I mean, really, if you showed like you're going to blitz and then you drop a defensive end back, that's just a big target, changes the throwing lane. A lot of those passes wouldn't have been completed, but they just kept trying to go after the quarterback, and I didn't think that was very smart. And then there people were talking about how it was similar to the Bengals game, but that was different because the Bengals game we're taking the linebacker out and blitzing him a lot of times in the middle, and so it was slightly different, but. I don't like scheme-wise several of the things they're doing late in games, but especially when they need to eat up yardage and try and get a field goal. You want to give them stuff underneath. Yeah, you don't want to get beat over the top, but you don't want to give up big chunks underneath. Right. You got to tighten up on that.
Yeah, I agree. Will, are you concerned?
Well, the pass rush is still a work in progress,
Yes.
and it's going to need to be better later on in the year, or we're going to start losing games like this.
Yeah.
Because Jared Goff, especially, is a quarterback who, if you give him time, he's good. But you saw this on the plays where we were able to get a pass rush.
Yes.
You get a guy in his face, he makes mistakes.
He does.
So
yes.
This is something we still need to get better at. We need to be more consistent at it, and I think it'll come around, but it hasn't yet.
Reason to be optimistic.
Yeah,
I agree with you. Statsman Mark?
Well, I think Ziggy, had a better game.
I think those guys are going to get better as like when Jaron Reed comes back and you get pressure up the middle more than we're able to get now.
That'll help.
I've totally forgotten about Reed already. It's weird, but he is coming back.
And we've only got one more game without him. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
that's been amazing.
Oh wait, is his first game back the Baltimore game?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that how? Oh my goodness! Wow. And ET coming.
The stars are aligning.
Oh, real quick, anyone hear about like the sideshow in Baltimore with ET and a teammate or something?
Yeah.
And
he's trying to fight.
He yelled at his guy who couldn't play in that last game.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a different thing, but it's just this team. What I'm reminded of, it really is just like this. I don't know. It's just that the magical aura of RW, and how I just think his people can dismiss him as the cliche and all this kind of stuff, but man, I just think it rubs off on the rest of his team, and he's constantly just positive and upbeat, and it's just. Man, you can just feel it, and but again, that's RW. But defensively, I'm just, this team, they're just coming together. It's just exciting to see it kind of groom. It's weird to think. It feels like the Legion of Boom was like 15 years ago, even though it was fairly recent. It feels so long ago, but this team has the same kind of spirit, and it's really, just a great win. I mean, wow,
it was, and we haven't talked about Russell Wilson, who just. Every game Russell's just amazing, but just continues to just defy all logic and play Madden, is what I said. I said Russell Wilson's playing Madden right now, and I know we want to run the ball, but when you got that guy and his throws, I marvel at his throws. To me, I was going to talk about the throw that he threw in the end zone to Lockett, and yes, absolutely, it was the lowest completion rating in 2 years. It was like a 2.6% chance of that catch happening, and it did. And it was a wonderful throw, but to me, what was the one on? Did he throw it to who was it?
Disley.
Disley, was that the one? Yeah, the one where he took over his shoulder. Oh my God, that throw was spectacular. And I'm a Rams fan, going, I can't even be mad at that. The guy's completely covered, and it was kind of like the whole Shaquille thing with Woods late in the game. I was like, man, Shaquille's covering him like a blanket. That was just a hell of a throw. But Russell
a perfect throw is going to beat perfect coverage anytime, and it's just the way it goes.
But Russell just continues to make regular throws during the game that are just look impossible, and they're just beautiful. And the guy's playing Madden right now. It's not even fair. Like, they should raise him to the pro level or something, like on Madden.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy how he can run to his left and throw to his right.
Yes.
A lot of people have to step to the right, step into it and throw it and place it, but he's just on the move, going to his left, throws it cross field to his right in a perfect spot.
Yeah.
But we all know that he's been doing this for the last 7 years, and he just gets better, and you think this is the best you've ever seen a quarterback, and he just raises it again.
Mm-hmm.
And you just shake your head and go, I can't believe there's still no ceiling on this guy. It's been 7 years. I don't know how much farther he can go. And I know I don't want to get cliched here, but 7 years I think is long enough to start thinking about a yellow jacket. I'm sorry, but I think he's put together enough of a resume at this point that I don't know how he doesn't.
He'll be in the Hall of Fame. There's no doubt about it.
No doubt about it. Has to.
We have been blessed to be able to watch Russell Wilson play these 7 years, because this sort of thing does not come along that often.
Remember, Matt Hasselbeck was our best quarterback before this, which I love Matt. Matt's a great guy. He was a good quarterback. Come on.
Matt was outstanding, especially given the background, the career he had. But RW is just that... you run out of superlatives to describe this guy.
Well, he's kind of changed the culture of the game as well, because without Russell Wilson going out there and doing what he's done, Murray would not have been the pick that he was.
And neither would Baker Mayfield the year before.
Exactly.
Mayfield and
Did
a
you
lot of
guys?
Other guys.
Did you guys catch that segment? You know who I've really enjoyed, real quick, as far as an analyst or when they have him talking football, is Eric Mangini is fascinating to me.
Really?
I don't know. He makes some really, I think, interesting points. And what he pointed out with RW is that he said, because I've read, it's one of those things like you think it's just obvious, but when the way he said it, it was, RW is taking away like the color kind of thing about like the quarterback. The only thing with RW has always been his height. Like this whole time, all we've ever talked about is height, not the typical, the whole conversation started now 30 whatever years ago, Doug Williams, leading the Redskins, can a black quarterback start in this league and blah, 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 blah. With RW, the whole time, it's just been a height issue. And I never really looked at it that way. I thought it was an interesting point that Mangini brought up.
Well, but remember, we had Breeze, and Breeze was kind of the exception at that point. So you had Breeze, but then Russell's kind of the one that if Breeze opened the door, I think Russell knocked it down. I think as far as that stereotype.
I think Breeze unlocked it and Russell opened it.
Yeah.
But Breeze was a high first round pick, wasn't he originally?
Second round.
A second round.
Oh, he was
San Diego.
Wow, he was second round.
Yeah.
Wow.
Doug Flutie's watching football these days, thinking, "Man, I can't. I turned pro 30 years too early."
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, well, listen, let's finish this up and let's go ahead and get our posse prediction challenge for the Rams game. First on the scores, it was 30-29. I know I said 31-20 when I did the show, but if you looked at my on the YouTube, I said 31-30. When I put that up before the game, I said 31-30. I'm giving myself the closest score because 31-30 is really what I meant, not 31-20. And I also get a 2-point bonus because I said that I had the right point margin, which is a 1-point Seahawk win. So 3 points for me there. Prognostications, nobody got theirs, which is weird. Game ball, I gave a point to Mike and Dustin for Lockett for that incredible catch on its own. The over and under was over. I think it was at like 50 something and it was 60 or 59 points. It was like 49, I think. I was over a point for Little Mo, Mike, Statsman Mark, and me. Meaning, hey, look who won week 5. Me. I had 4. Mike had 2. Dustin had 1. Little Mo had 1. Statsman Mark had 1. So now, after 5 games, here's how we sit. Dustin with 11. Me with 9. I'm coming after you, buddy.
Wow.
Matt with 8. Mike Pascal with 8. Statsman Mark with 7. Little Mo with 6. Tom and Will at 4. Jose and Mark Ty Turner at 3. Gentlemen, as we enter next week's contest for the Browns, the scores through 5 games: Team 12, 24, Team Posse, 39.
What?
Wow.
In your face.
Celebrate,
Holy
people.
cow. My
I don't even
goodness.
know how to react to this, really.
15 points.
Wow.
How about that, boys?
Pretty good.
Another miracle.
Yeah.
Can't
Celebrate
get cocky,
good times.
We got to enjoy this while we can, but then it's on to Cleveland.
I know, huh?
Who said that?
What's weird is how the first 3 names are on our team. Like we've never had the top 3 spots on the charts.
I know.
You know?
And
then
I don't think we've ever
4
had
out
the
of
top 1
5.
spot.
4 of the top 5.
Yeah.
I know Little Mo's won a couple times, and then Jose, I think, won once or twice. Yeah.
So, all right. So we're going to go celebrate. But before we do, we have to bring this wonderful and amazing 12-man fan jam show to a sad close. We are so glad you decided to waste some of this Seahawk football free time with us. We certainly hope you laughed a little and maybe you learned a little. We learned a lot on this double recap show. We learned that India is a country. Yeah.
It is. Agreed.
We learned it. I'm going to waylay Mark on Facebook on Tuesday, so get ready for the waylaying on Tuesday.
Oh, no.
Never settle for a clipboard. $724 beers are a thing.
Oh, that guy. How in the world can you think you're not going to get caught?
I know, and there are Dolphin fans, and Dustin is on top. So, on behalf of my partner, Matt, wherever he is, probably sleeping, our new sound shadow hawk Will.
Dream.
Statsman Mark.
Dream.
Oh my God, Dustin.
It's the Everly Brothers.
No, that was not you, the Everly Brothers. That was you. Mike Pascal, Roger Goodell, Mark Ty Turner, Jose, Tom, Mosette, Little Mo, Jared Goff, Kyler Murray,
Bob Crane.
Legatron. This is Moses saying until next time. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks. Hogan.
I know nothing.
I'm surprised nobody made any jokes about when Mark said Russell Wilson rubs off on his teammates. I was like, what? We're just going to leave that alone? All right.
Why didn't you? Yeah, dude. Why
Well,
did you say this now?
We're tired, Dustin. It went over everyone's
We're
head.
so
I think.
tired.